What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Before I do get into talking about the second race from Dover National Speedway, I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a review from this year's Indianapolis 500. Takuma Sato today was able to score his second Indianapolis 500 win under caution because of a very, very ferocious accident that did take place with 5 laps to go. Spencer Pigot got loose down the front stretch. He hit the outside wall and rammed into the inside wall, destroying the tire barrier. Because of that, the caution came out, and Takuma Sato was able to hold off Scott Dixon to score his second win at the Indianapolis 500. So congratulations to Takuma Sato on winning today's Indianapolis 500. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this race. I'll be honest with you, I thought today's Cup race was not as good as yesterday's race. I thought yesterday's race was a little bit better, to be honest with you. What I'll say is Stage 1 was the best stage of both races combined because we saw a lot of guys traveling from the back to the front. But track position was such a key thing in this race. It was basically really difficult to pass. And we saw a lot of tire strategy and a lot of drivers who were on that playoff cutoff line taking some chances early in this race, including William Byron. Now let's go ahead and get into the other things that happened in this race. The first incident that took place, similar to yesterday's race, happened basically around the same lap. Joey Logano was trying to make a pass on Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and once again, Logano causes another incident. He gets into Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, and Kyle Busch are also involved in that crash, along with multiple Rick Ware Racing cars that were involved behind them. The 7 car is associated with Rick Ware Racing, if you did not know that. Both those cars had issues, and Rick Ware would finish last in this race. Also, Chase Elliott would not finish the race. He would go to the garage immediately. I'm tired of Logano's antics, to be quite honest with you. I don't hate Logano, but I'm tired of him causing incidents. He caused the incident at Daytona Road Course race on the last lap, and he's caused this one. Logano needs to chill out. We're 8 laps in a race. You can't really do that. Other than that, though, really the first half of this race was really, really chill. Kevin Harvick pretty much today had the best car. He pretty much dominated the early portions of this race. Once he got by Ryan Blaney around lap 70, really no one could touch him in this race except, of course, when there was strategy going on with some guys trying to stay out and take 2 tires and no tires staying out to get fuel and stuff. Harvick really had the best car in this race. The next incident would take place around lap 101, the second stage, where there was contact between Corey LaJoie and Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon would end up getting into Corey LaJoie. He would spin him out, taking Corey LaJoie out of contention, and Corey was not very happy with Ty Dillon. In my opinion, Ty Dillon is at fault for the incident. There's no reason to be getting into somebody. I know that Corey is out of his driver crown, but you don't get into a driver. Then we went green for quite a bit after that, and Kevin Harvick won the first 2 stages. He pretty much swept the first 2 stages. Penske had a pretty good day at the start. Looked like the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, and of course Denny Hamlin was up front. And then the next incident happened around 95 laps to go, actually 90 laps to go in this race after Quinn Houff spun. Quinn Houff being a talentless, I'm not going to say Quinn Houff is talentless. He's actually not the worst driver, but Quinn Houff spun coming off of turn 2. On the ensuing restart, Denny Hamlin was in second place at the time. He actually would have to come down pit road because he had a loose wheel. Hamlin would go a lap down, and Hamlin has having a pretty good day. He wasn't having as good of a day as he was having yesterday, but Denny Hamlin was still having a very strong run at Dover International Speedway. Right after that, we went green for quite a bit of time. We then had, I don't think we had pit stops, if I'm not mistaken. And then the final caution would come out with about 23 laps to go in this race. Corey LaJoie once again would spin out. He would get loose down, the back going into turn 3. He got into the outside wall. He got some damage there. Then we came to a shootout, and Jimmie Johnson, who had to battle his way back after a speeding penalty, he decided to take only 2 tires, which in my opinion was a very good strategy call by Jimmie Johnson to take only 2 tires on that restart. But he would end up losing the lead to Kevin Harvick. Jimmie would actually hold off William Byron today to get a 3rd place finish, so Jimmie Johnson had a really good run. Kevin Harvick was able to pull away almost 4 seconds in front of the field. Kevin Harvick today scored his 7th win in this season. His 56th career win, tying Kyle Busch for 9th in the all-times winless. He's going to pass Kyle Busch here very, very soon. And it's also his first win with the 750 horsepower package, 13th win for Hamlin and Harvick combined. And this is the 700th win for Ford. Yesterday, Toyota got their 150th career win. Today, Ford got their 700 Cup when the first guy was apparently shirtless. That's pretty funny to note. But Kevin Harvick, once again, shows why he and Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, are the two drivers who are forced to be reckoned with for the championship. Kevin Harvick today scores his 7th win of the year. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick. Anyway, let's go into results and then go and talk about the point standings as well. Because I might talk about that tomorrow because tomorrow the playoff bubble has gotten very, very interesting. Kevin Harvick won today's race, no surprise. Mark Truex Jr. finished his second. Again, another runner-up finish. Mark Truex Jr. is on a very hot tear of finishing second or third. I hope he can get a win really soon. It looked like he had a really good shot at winning today. But Mark Truex Jr. gets second. That is a strong run for Truex. Hendrick Motorsports, 3-4-5. Jimmie finished third. Jimmie had a pretty good day, to be honest with you. Ran top 10. His car, well, I'll be honest with you, about the same it was yesterday. But third place and staying out to do some strategy. Great call. William Byron had also a really, really strong day as well. Byron was able to pick up a lot of points, gain a lot of points than Jimmie Johnson. The only reason Jimmie is 4 points behind and not ahead of Byron because Byron gained, I think, like 6 or 7 more points on Jimmie. Jimmie's still only 4 points below the cutoff line, so good run for both those guys. And Alex Bowman gets a much-needed top 5 run. Great job by Alex Bowman. And also, that was William Byron's first top 5 finish this season. He was coming in this race, being the only driver currently in the top 22 in the standings to not have a top 5. He finally scored it. Great day for Hendrick besides Chase Elliott. Joey Logano finished his 6th, not a bad run. Eric Almirola 7th. He has been one of the 3 we'll talk about that has clinched their spot into the playoffs of the guys that have not won up to this point. Brad Keselowski finished his 8th. Austin Dillon comes home 9th. Remember, he had COVID-19. Comes home with the 9th place finish. Very strong run there. And Cole Custer betters this finish yesterday by 1 spot. He finished his 10th in today's race. Kyle Busch finished his 11th despite having a damage. He now has the longest streak, longest that he's not gone on to win. This is the longest he's not won at, 11th place. Honestly, a good rebound, but Kyle Busch, in my opinion, he's out of contention to win the championship up to this point. Ryan Blaney had a really good start to the race, kind of fell back, finished 12th. Kurt Busch finished his 13th. Chris Buescher has a solid 14th place run. Matt Kenseth 15th. Clint Bowyer has kind of a worse day than yesterday. He finished his 16th. Matt DiBenedetto, who started on the pole today, we'll talk about him. Matt DiBenedetto really had a good start to the race, and the car just was not up to speed. And Matt DiBenedetto is really almost in position to be out of the playoffs right now. He's now 9 points above the cutoff line. A terrible race for DiBenedetto. He cannot afford to crash at a Daytona. He probably almost needs to win at Daytona to keep his championship hopes alive. Tyler Reddick finishes 18th. Tyler Reddick is now in a must-win situation if he does want to get into the playoffs. Denny Hamlin, after his loose wheel, still comes back to finish in the top 20. Really good run there. And John Nemechek finishes 20th in today's race. Bubba Wallace finishes 21st. Eric Jones, after the damage, he's almost probably much in a must-win situation. He's like 50 points below the cutoff line. He's pretty much going to have to win at, I don't know what I just did there. He's going to have to pretty much win at Daytona as well. Corey LaJoie, 23rd. Ryan Newman, 24th. Michael McDowell, 25th. 26th, Ryan Preece. 27th, Christopher Bell. 20th, Daniel Suarez. 29th, Ty Dillon. And 30th place goes to Brennan Poole. 31st, B.J. McLeod. 32nd, Josh Bilicki. 33rd, Reed Sorensen. 34th goes to Quinn Half. 35th, Garrett Smithley. 36th, Timmy Hill. 37th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. After the damage, he went to the garage, came back on track, and went back off the track, I think, eventually. Finished like 96 laps down. Not a good run for Stenhouse. J.G. Ely, 38th. Chase Elliott, 39th. And Joey Gase finishes last in 40th place. And now let's talk about the race a little more and get out of here. Honestly, to be real with you, I thought today's race was worse than yesterday's. It wasn't as fun to watch. Kevin Harvick pretty much today had the best car. No one could touch him. He had at one point like an 8 or 9 second lead. I thought maybe Jimmie was going to be able to hold him off at the end of this race with the 2 tires, but Kevin Harvick's car was just so strong. I thought Harvick was going to have a really good car yesterday, but he didn't have as good of a car yesterday as he had today. They were able to adjust it, and Kevin Harvick pretty much dominated today's race. Honestly, I'm going to give this score of this race not a very high score. I'm going to give this race a 5.5 out of 10. It's not the worst race I've ever seen at Dover. Really, 2018, other than the finish today was not as good, to be honest with you. 5.5 out of 10. I'm not giving it a high score. It's not the worst race I've ever watched. I think Stage 1 kind of saved this race, and parts of Stage 2 saved this race. But to be real with y'all, I thought the Indy 500 was better, except the finish. 5.5 out of 10 is the score for today's race. We're going to Daytona next week. Oh boy, Daytona. Oh man, it's going to be a really, really fast and chaotic race. If you're not locked into the playoffs right now, you are not safe going into Daytona. Clint Bowyer has 57 points to get. He's almost locked in. He pretty much has to start to pretty much make it in. Daytona's coming up. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. we know is going to be really fun to watch. We're going to see probably the Fords also be really, really fast in the race. We got Daytona coming up. I'm excited for this one, the final race for the playoffs. Man, I am excited for this race. I think the racing is going to be crazy. We're also going back to Daytona where Ryan Newman crashed and really, really bad, which also sucks. Hopefully we will not see that, but hopefully we'll see what we saw at Talladega last time we were there because that was really fun to watch. Anyway, that is going to be it for my review of the second race of the Dover doubleheaders. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Link in the description below for that. And comment with your thoughts on today's race. What did you think of today's race? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.